last time we spoke, you had a rough day, rough night, or rough morning rather. Today, same deal. Got up super early. You got up at 1:50, and your son woke up and then kept waking up, and then your other son is getting very sick, and he's like 5 weeks old, 6 weeks old. So he shouldn't be as sick as he sounds. So anyways, that's besides the point. It's mainly just to document the realness of, like, there are just so many competing things going on as you try to pursue this goal. That's like, these are just like extra rocks being thrown on your back. And they're not that big of a deal. I mean, being sick is a big deal, but it's like, you just lose 2 hours here, you lose an hour here, you got to spend a bunch of money here, and that's kind of just the nature of things. It never is not like this. Like, the conditions are not perfect, I guess. It's like, never forget that the conditions will never be perfect, and you have to continuously move. If I woke up, immediately was like, I literally got my laptop out, and then the light turned on because you can reach up the lights now, and I was like, it could not have been at a worse time. That kind of stuff. But, you know, it's a season of intensity, and it has to be, like, you will do what is required. That is, if you want to get to where you need to go, you have to do what is required. And there's so much that's required of you, and you just have to do it. Like 3 hours of sleep, it sounds insane. 4 hours of sleep sounds insane, but it is what is required. I hate the way I live currently on one level. On another level, I absolutely love the way I live. In fact, I could honestly just continue to live like this for the rest of my life. In one sense, like, I'm very content with the things that I have. In that, this is a high quality of life. I'm on a giant loop, so that's why my steering wheel's like this. So that's like that on the one hand. And on the other hand, I have such high aspirations and lofty goals that I think are totally achievable. And so I'm just like I'm living as if that is the outcome that I want for my life. One of the crazy things that has always reinforced the goal setting, like, way of life, which when you're in the game, it feels like that's all it is, but some people don't do that. So anyways, I did Jordan Peterson's self-authoring suite, it would have been like 6-7 years ago now. 5-6 years ago. And when I wrote it, I had the stupidest stuff. Like, I was too afraid to call places and, like, book a what do they call it, like a reservation at a restaurant or something. Anyways, I look back on that, and I had all these steps lined out, and I followed them, and now it's like, it's literally not even a thing that I think about. But it was such a big deal at that stage. And sometimes I forget that, like, that was important, that required a lot of effort and preparation and stress. And so it's like in these moments where I'm, like, literally just reaching out all the time, like, posting things, getting this, like, brutal feedback, changing, pivoting, like, improving incrementally, I will forget that this is even a thing. I'm sure in like 10 years, I will forget that this is even a thing. This will be like second nature. I won't even, like, note the steps because it'll just, like, seamlessly glide along. And so that's super important to remember. And so that's why I'm doing this, because I would love to be at the end of 100 days and be like, wow, I made a sale, or I did something. It would be crazy. It would be so cool. It would be unbelievable. So yeah, the goal setting thing, but the thing that shifted in my mind for goal setting was a Hormozi Live where he talked to a person and they were like, how do I set my goals? How do I make them attainable? Like, all that stuff. And he was just like, he had said it so many times up until this point, so he's just reiterating it. But basically, do not set goals. Like, have a lofty 10-year plan But other than that, just have like these hypotheses, which what you assume, like where you want to go, and then I'm probably butchering this, but where you want to go, and then you make the goal the step, like the mechanics of getting to the thing. So for example, if I want to make a sale or some sales, the goal isn't to make some sales. The goal is to do 100 reach outs every day, because that alleviates the stress of, did I do 100 reach outs? I did not do 100 reach outs. And you just feel like trash, but you can actually measure it. And you can be like, I need to get 20 more in before the day is over. Whereas before, it's like, I did an amorphous 30 calls or messages, and it amounted to nothing. And so you feel like, I am terrible, I suck at this, like, but you have nothing to measure against to incrementally improve. And so, yeah, that's been a good change. And so it's taken off some of the burden of thought in my head, because I know that if I hit the number, I can rest more easy than I did before. So yeah, the importance of setting goals, it's important. I could just rant and talk to myself for ages, but I want to keep these succinct. But I have so many swirling thoughts in my head, and then I don't even know like what I could be talking about at different points. I mean, this is really just for me. If someone finds this, they're gonna think I'm the weirdest person ever. Like, what are you doing? But if I make something of myself, this will be the most valuable content. So, here's to the future.